Good morning, Enid. It's good to see you again. Welcome to our show on this Thursday, February 4th. Well, if you haven't stepped outside, let me give you a little heads up. It's cold. It's 19 degrees, and for our pilots, advanced, that are always watching our show, the winds are out of the west-southwest, but barely blowing at 2 miles per hour. However, it's going to be sunny and 50 on this gorgeous day in Enid, Oklahoma. Hi, I'm Steve Kime.
And I'm Ashley Keim.
And welcome to our Super Bowl show. Go Panthers. Since my Patriots disappointed everybody in the world, we're going to support the Panthers, right?
I don't know. I'll have to think about it, Steve.
You can just say yes.
I'll have to think about that one.
Well, it's good to see you, Ashley.
Good to be here. Good to be here. And Enid, welcome this morning, and it is time to rise and shine.
Thank you, AJ. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us on this Thursday. Just amazing how quickly the week goes. Here we are in February, and a cold February. Of course, it should be. You know, usually February's snowing and cold and
Yes.
it's bitter,
Yes.
and we're waiting for springtime. It's
Waiting.
7:32. Thanks for joining us. I'm sorry.
I said waiting patiently.
Waiting patiently. So this is my little subliminal reminder that this is our Carolina Panthers Super Bowl party show. So,
See, I'm
and watch
gonna-
them get beat too.
I'm going to have to think about that, Steve, because, see, I have this little card here that I think I kind of like better.
I should have known. I should have known. I'm going to have to see a therapist now to get over seeing the Denver Bronco logo. Oh,
Well,
it's
that's
pretty
not
painful.
much different then from your normal schedule, right?
That's right.
Good morning, Enid. Happy to
Tell
have
us
you
about
here.
last night. Speaking of Denver Broncos, tell us about your evening last night.
Last night, we have started calving early, Steve. So we have
Yeah, everybody does that. So.
we have cows. Maybe I should clarify that.
Start from the beginning.
We have cattle. We're calving a little bit early. They weren't supposed to be here until April, but we have already started. So it was a cold night last night, in and out of the house.
Bless the mama cow's heart, you know.
Yes.
Anyway, well, speaking of cold, let's look at the statewide forecast, and thank you for joining us this morning. See if we can find the statewide forecast right now. Is it Eva?
I'm not sure. Is it?
We'll go with Eva. You know, I've been to the Panhandle many times, but I haven't been to the big city. We'll say Eva. Anyway, it's cold, 16 degrees out there. Evener, over there in the southeast part of the state's 22. Ketchum, I've been to Ketchum. Waukeeta, 24. Sweetwater, I always thought Sweetwater was Texas. But according to Penn Klein, Sweetwater's on the Texas-Oklahoma border.
Oh.
And then my wife was born in the big city of Lindsay, Oklahoma. So she'll be pleased that we have Lindsay this morning. So if you're traveling across the state, it's cold.
It is cold.
It's cold on this February 4th.
Too cold for me. And then the 3-day forecast as well, Steve. It's still looking a little bit chilly. We're going to be in the 50s to the lower 50s, getting down into the 30s throughout the weekend. But hopefully it'll still be sunny. You know, hopefully the wind won't be too fierce this weekend.
Right.
So.
Well, it's moving right along, and then Valentine's. I've already had my Valentine's card purchased. How about you?
I do, actually. I
very
think
good.
I'm ahead of the game this year,
Very
which is a
good.
first.
We want to talk about an important feature that we've incorporated within the Enid Television Network, and it's called Community Spotlight. And the bow tie guy, Derrick, Silas, gets to sit down and talk with executive directors of nonprofit organizations. And as you can see, there's a good-looking Derrick Silas right there. If you have a nonprofit organization, we're giving you an opportunity for like a 15-minute infomercial. You get to talk to Derrick, and you talk about your nonprofit, your organization, how you're funded, what you do to make a difference in the community. Call us at 540-8918, and we'll schedule time for you to sit down with Derrick. And so pass the word. If you're in a nonprofit, give us a call so we can get you on the Enid Television Network.
Yes.
And we will play that for the next 6, 7, 8, 9 months or so, because we want to share your mission in life.
Absolutely. And speaking of the bow tie guy, let's go to him and see what happened overnight in the Oklahoma Minute.
Sandridge Energy laid off 440 employees yesterday to cut costs because of falling oil prices. A Norman man has been charged of 5 counts of stalking for making telephone death threats and posting recordings on YouTube. Love's Travel Stops and Country Stores has agreed to purchase Chicago-based Trillium CNG, which will allow expansion nationwide. The U.S. Department of Agriculture is investigating the death of a 37-year-old Asian elephant at the Oklahoma City Zoo. This day in history, February 4, 1789, George Washington becomes the first and only president to be unanimously elected by Electoral College. In sports last night, the Thunder took on the Orlando Magic. With the ball in Kevin Durant's hand in the final seconds, he scores a deep 3 for the win over Orlando, 117-114. And that's the Oklahoma Minute. Back to you, Stephen Ashley.
Thank you, Derrick, and that's typical Oklahoma City Thunder. Wait to the last nth of a second to score the winning basket. I tell you what.
I mean, they put on a good show.
They do, so congratulations to the Thunder. We appreciate
Yes.
that. Good morning, Enid. Holding steady at 19 degrees. High today is going to be 50 degrees, so not bad for February, but however, the sun will be out, so shouldn't feel so bad.
I'm hoping. Another reminder, Enid, ask Steve. We do encourage you, again, to ask Steve anything, any comments, recommendations, pictures, events going on in town that you want us to be aware of, or maybe you want us to spotlight birthdays as well.
When's your birthday?
Well, it's in July, Steve.
Oh, okay.
It's in July. So
we have a while to plan your party.
Yes,
Okay.
you do. And it's going to be a big one this year, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Again, just any recommendations, pictures, birthdays, announcements, engagements, anything, send them to us at Ask Steve. We'd love to hear from you.
And did the cow show up?
Yes.
I wasn't looking. The
Yes.
cows made it.
They did.
Our Holsteins, good. Well, it's good to
You
see
did.
them every week. Well, Brooke is back. The young lady is back, so let's find out what's going on in the community. I mean, there's only 47 things happening at the Enid Event Center, and Brooke is here to tell us about that.
Good morning, Enid. Thank you for having me back again this week to let you know what's going on at the Enid Event Center and Convention Hall. So first we have Harlem Globetrotters tonight at 7 p.m. Very excited about this. It's the 90th anniversary. So more than 125 people in 120 countries have watched them play. So if you don't have your tickets, we still have some available. A recent announcement that we had just this week, we've got Styx Band coming. They are, very excited, all the rocker fans in town. The original name, TW4, was signed by Wooden Nickel Records. They suggested the new name, and of the hundreds considered, Styx is the only one that stuck. Another announcement just this week, the Carden Circus. That'll be here on April 6th. So all the kiddos excited about that one. Be sure to get your tickets. And lastly, the event that I hinted that was going to be announced that following Friday was the Beach Boys. So we're really excited about the Beach Boys. We're gonna have a beach party before the show with hot dogs, hamburgers, lots of sides. Gonna be really fun, and hope the weather cooperates with us on Sunday, May 22nd. So for all other event announcements that we've made, visit our website at www.enideventcenter.com. Thank you, and back to you, Stephen Ashley.
Very good, Brooke. Thank you very much. It's good to have her back. And if you just listen to her, all the events in Enid, Oklahoma, you don't have to go to Tulsa or Oklahoma City to see the Beach Boys or Styx. This will date me. The first time I saw Styx was in 1972. I was thinking about that the other day when I heard that they were coming to Enid, and I go, wow.
Well, Steve, Steve.
I mean, that was back in the black and white TV days.
I don't know if I should say this or not, but I was born in '89.
Yeah, no,
So-
no, I realize that most things I say you can't relate to. I understand that, you know, so.
Absolutely.
All
I'm
of-
excited about the Globetrotters. I'm taking the kids to that tonight, so they're
that's great.
excited. I'm excited. I saw them when I was little, so
I did
it's
too.
just, it's a fun one to be
I did
able to
too.
have them.
Well, speaking of food and breakfast, sure wish we had some. Let's see what the kids are going to have at the grade school today, and pre-K all the way up to the 5th grade. This is the lunch menu for today. Yum, yum, beef tacos, along with some shredded lettuce. We're going to throw in some beans there. The mixed fruit is always on the menu, and you got to have milk. I mean, that's the way it is from pre-K to the 5th grade. And what does Friday look like, Ashley?
Absolutely. Friday, it's looking like they're going to have a ribecue sandwich, Steve. I'm not completely sure what that is, but they're saying that it's good. So it's a ribecue sandwich, green beans, onion rings, applesauce, some carrot cake. I'm a fan of carrot cake. And again, we have the usual milk.
Sounds good to me. Good morning, Enid. 741, holding steady at 19 degrees. High today is going to be 50 as you plan today. And now it's time for one-on-one with our good friend Jomara.
Good morning, Enid. We have two special guests this morning. They're both very popular radio personalities here in town, and they are Alan Clepper and J. Curtis Huckleberry. They're both with KGWA and KOFM in town. Steve had the opportunity to visit with them regarding their 30-year career in radio. Now let's listen to Steve and see what Alan and J. Curtis had to share about their radio career in town.
I was visiting with Alan Clepper a couple of weeks ago, and he was talking about celebrating 30 years in broadcasting. And the three of us have one connector, and that would be in my early days, I was in broadcasting, so that's kind of the three things that we were connected with. But then I've also learned that Jay Curtis had celebrated 30 plus years in broadcasting, so I thought, we got to get these two 30 plus year icons together and talk about their role in the Enid community and learn a little bit more about them. Jay Curtis, to you right off the bat, how in the world did you get involved in broadcasting? In 20 words or less.
That's impossible. If you wanted that, you shouldn't have asked me a question. Oddly enough, I'd never been interested in radio or broadcasting. My degree is in political science.
Okay.
It was a matter of timing. Graduated, got out of college 1984 on the semester. And of course, that was still just after the big oil bust.
Right.
And there was not much going on. In fact, it took about 6 months to find a job here in Enid. And the first job that I had in radio, Steve, was as a salesperson, going out and trying to sell radio advertising to local businesses.
So you were so successful in selling, they stuck you on the air.
Well, now, in my defense, a couple of things.
I've had that say to me. So.
That's true. In my defense, a couple of things. As I mentioned, it was 1984, and the economy was not doing well here, and attitudes were not great. It was not the best time to be trying to sell radio advertising or anything else. But secondly, you are correct in that as far as a salesperson, yeah, I was not good. I was not suited for the job. I was young, coming straight out of college, was not prepared to do what needed to be done to be successful at that, and fortunately had the opportunity to transition and to start working back then what was known as working on the board. You
Sure.
worked behind producing the shows. It was much more required on the human element back then, even for network shows. The stations were not computer run, and then a little bit on the air and just simply never stopped.
Very good. We'll talk a little bit later on in our interview about the advances in technology. I'm just a tad bit, 2 or 3 weeks older than these two gentlemen to my left. And when I was in broadcasting, there was not a communications department. Oklahoma State didn't even have a radio TV department at the time. And so you had to go to a private broadcasting school, which I did way back in the early 70s. And it was called Elkins Institute, and that was something even Rush Limbaugh went to Elkins. And that's how we got introduced to broadcasting for me. But Alan, my question to you is, on Wednesday mornings when we talk city government news on your morning show, we will kind of swap stories about influences. And I remember as a kid in high school, I would go out in my car in Perry, Oklahoma, turn on that old AM radio. It wasn't FM in my '60 Chevy. And I would listen to WLS out of Chicago, WNOE in New Orleans, and I think it was WOAI in San Antonio. And I'd listen to these guys and I'd go, wow, what a voice, what a power, and I loved the music. My question to you, for you to get in broadcasting, were there events like that impacted you to say, hey, broadcasting's for me?
Well, it's kind of the same story as Jay Curtis. I got into broadcasting by mistake at Oklahoma State. I was an architecture major and did that for 3 years and decided.
I see that connection there.
You know, and when you're a junior in college and you've got a nice solid 1.5 grade average, you're trying to find the easiest thing you could. And I literally went back to the dorms, opened up the syllabus, and chose broadcasting. So I ended up with a degree in radio, television, and film.
Tell us that grade point again.
No, it wasn't really one. It was more like.
That's a little higher than it was.
It was more like 1.8, but it's a lot closer than you think. But I think by osmosis, the old AM radio, the top 40 AM radio, and you pick the town, whether it's WLS in Chicago, and I would listen to them at night too. A lot of people did growing up in this part of the world, but I listened to the Oklahoma City stations, and some of those guys are still on the air right now as we speak that I listen to. So I think if there's homework that was done, that was it, listening to the radio. And I think when you get into it, you emulate your favorite broadcasters, and away you go. So.
My special guest on City Connections today is very familiar icons, as I call them, Alan Clepper of Clepper in the Morning on KOFM and also KGWA. Then, of course, Jay Curtis Huckleberry. You can hear Jay Curtis on KGWA and the evening news. When you're driving home, you can hear Jay Curtis share the news. Now, Jay Curtis, you shared your story about your connection to Enid. Alan, let me ask you, you weren't born and raised in Enid. You were north and northwest here of the community. How did you end up here in Garfield County, Enid?
I was running from the law. No, it's not that far from the truth. Actually, I got that degree from OSU and was setting my sights on points farther to the north, whether it was, I don't know, Colorado, probably, the mountains, someplace pretty.
Yeah.
And couldn't get a job. And after about a month living with my parents, headed back to Stillwater to get that last load of stuff. I stopped in Enid because the late, great Bert Chambers, some people may remember that name, had been at KGWA and had spoken to a college class. And he said, don't ever underestimate the power of small market radio and television and broadcasting. So I thought, okay, I'll give it a shot. Stopped into Enid and went right straight to Bert, and he said, no, I don't have a job for you. But the guys down the street did, and that's what started that. So that's how I ended up in Enid. A couple of months later, met a girl, we got married, and such is the history of that.
30 plus years later, here we are.
Still married to that same girl, by the way. So
That's right.
Well, congratulations. And again, one of our key themes today is highlighting their 30 plus years in broadcasting, but also their 30 plus year connection to Enid, Oklahoma, and the impact that they have here in the community. Jay Curtis, 30 plus years, one station here in Enid. How in the world? Longevity. How did that happen? Because some of the guys that I started in broadcasting with 100 years ago, they worked 3 years, moved to another station, more money, bigger title. 3 years later, they moved, and you just kept moving. In your case, 30 plus years in one spot.
A number of factors. I've never really been interested in leaving Enid on a permanent basis, living someplace else. It has to do with the fact that my family's here as well. Okay. My parents are still here. I have other family here. I really do like it. Secondly, it is impossible to underestimate how much I hate moving. And also, like many of us, I'm rather resistant to change in any way. I've had the fortune to work for two great owners. When I first started, the late Alan Page, who owned the radio stations when both Alan and I started there, and since then Kyle Williams. And there's been a variety of things that I've done at the radio station, so that's kind of kept it fresh. But other than that, I enjoy what I do, and there's never been anything to prompt me to go ahead and seek change, including wanting to move to a larger market, even if that was possible, or if I was to be pursued. But I love what I do.
One of the key things that I appreciate about Jay Curtis and Alan's involvement in the community is they provide the City of Enid an opportunity that each week we get to talk about city government news. We talk about the City Commission. We talk about tree limb debris pickup. We talk about a variety of things. And so we have an avenue through the radio media to talk with these gentlemen each week and really share what's going on in the City of Enid government, and I appreciate that.
Well, we want to thank Alan Clepper and Jay Curtis Huckleberry for visiting with Steve. Thank you for sharing all their stories with him. On another note, I just want to mention that the Oklahoma Association Broadcasters announced their recipients, and KOFM won Station of the Year, and Alan Clepper won the Best Newscast. So congratulations to Alan Clepper and Jay Curtis Huckleberry for the work they're doing in the radio station. Now, if you want to watch the full 30-minute interview, it will air next week on the ETN station. Now, let's watch our department head video, and we have Dan Onesorge this morning.
Hello, I'm Dan Onesorge, Director for the Enid Woodring Regional Airport, owned by the City of Enid, Oklahoma. We're open every day of the year. We have a manned control tower and a great restaurant in a terminal building. And we've recently extended our main runway to 8,000 feet. If I can be of any service to you, please contact me at the number provided on our website. We look forward to seeing you at the Woodring Regional Airport.
Thanks, Ono. We appreciate that word. Good morning, Enid. Holding steady at 19 degrees, Ashley. The wind is a whopping 2 miles per hour and it's out of the west-southwest. High today is going to be what?
In the 50s.
In the 50s, but the sunshine
50s.
is going to be out. So it's time to find out. If you missed the news for overnight, let's go to the bow tie guy, Derrick Silas.
The U.S. Department of Agriculture is investigating the death of a 37-year-old Asian elephant at the Oklahoma City Zoo. Love's Travel Stops and Country Stores has agreed to purchase Chicago-based Trillium C&G, which will allow expansion nationwide. A Norman man has been charged for 5 counts of stalking for making telephone death threats and posting recordings on YouTube. This day in history, February 4, 1789, George Washington becomes the first and only president to be unanimously elected by the Electoral College. In sports last night, the Thunder took on the Orlando Magic. With the ball in Kevin Durant's hand in the final seconds, he scores a deep 3 for the win over Orlando, 117-114. And that's the Oklahoma Minute. Back to you, Stephen Ashley.
Thank you, Derrick. I just loved that little backdrop they have. It had a picture of the monkeys.
Yes. Yes.
Hey, with the monkeys. Anyway, that's great. So, we need, oh man, there they are. There they are. I can hear.
I have heard this song. I recognize this song.
You recognize?
I do. I wouldn't
Very
have known
good.
that it was the Monkees, but
Anyway, our production group, they're the best. They pull things off. They can get weather maps up there. They can get the, hey, we're the monkeys up there. That's great. I'd like to remind you at 8 o'clock, we have Governor David Walters. He will be talking about his role as governor back in the 80s, and that's coming up at 8 o'clock. And let's go back to the weather.
yes, the 3-day forecast for the weekend, Steve. It's still going to be a little bit chilly. we're hovering right around in the 50s. You know, it's still going to be down in the 30s in the evenings, but hopefully that sunshine will come out this weekend, and that the wind will die down. We're hoping, anyways. It is also, we have Brooke is back. She's back with us today, so let's see what's going on at the event center.
Good morning, Enid. Thank you for having me back. Glad to be with you and let you know what's going on at the Enid Event Center and Convention Hall. Tonight we have Harlem Globetrotters. It is their 90th anniversary, and they've been in over 120 different countries. So if you don't have tickets yet, there still are some available. A recent announcement just this week, we have Styx Band. So the original name was TW4, but it was suggested that they change the name, and Styx is the only name that stuck. We also announced just this week the Cardin International Circus will be coming to town. And then lastly, we will be having the Beach Boys on Sunday, May 22nd, along with a beach party beforehand with some hot dogs and hamburgers. So for all of our upcoming events, visit our website or feel free to give us a call you can call me directly at 616-7367 or visit our website at enideventcenter.com. Thank you, and back to you, Steve and Ashley.
Very good. Brooke, thank you very much. And good morning, Enid. 7:56. The morning is moving along, and if you're planning for your kids' day or grandkids' day, we'll look at the menu once again for pre-K all the way up to the 5th grade. Today, you're having beef tacos, if you're in grade school, shredded lettuce, ranch beans. Oh, my word. Man, I think I'll go there for lunch. Mixed fruit, and of course, you got to have milk. But tomorrow's even better, Ashley.
Yes, it's a Friday, Steve, and it looks like they are going to have a ribecue sandwich, as well as green beans, onion rings, applesauce, some carrot cake, love me some cake, and also milk.
Did you say love me some cake?
Love me some cake.
That's a new phrase, love me some cake. Okay.
Don't steal it.
Yeah, I won't. Okay, at 7:56, it's time for us to show our Adopt a Pet promo right now, and Shayna will be back with us here in a few weeks, but in the meantime, we have this special word from her.
I work out at Animal Control. I am the new volunteer and adoption coordinator out here. We had several adoptions today, which is great, but we definitely need to keep up the effort. We are located at 1200 South 10th here in Enid, Oklahoma, and our phone number is 580-249-4910.
Thank you, Shayna, and thank you, AJ, for bringing us back. Good morning, everyone. We appreciate you being with us. The 30 minutes, such a blur.
It's such a blur.
And you're such a subliminal, just kind of, here, hold your card up like this. Go Panthers. Well, we have less than a minute to go, and once you just have a seat.
I don't know if I'm going to be back next week, I think is what he's trying to tell me.
Now, I'm a Peyton Manning fan, but I'm not a Denver Bronco. And I'm Panthers. Go Panthers. I wish I had my Patriots. We'll do that. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us. High today is going to be what, Ashley? Around?
50s, in the 50s, hopefully. We're counting on it. Thank you, Enid, for joining us this morning. It was great to see you again.
Good to see you. We're going to root for the Panthers, and we'll see next week who gets the bigger card and everything. Thank you for joining us. Make it a great day, everyone.